VHS video recorder for only $396. Make no down payment and just 12 payments of $33 with no interest at all. The brick breaks through. Get it before it's gone.
The fluoride formula in this crest has helped prevent more cavities over the years than any other toothpaste. Same thing in this new crest. But if your dentist has ever removed tartar from your teeth, what's in this silver box could be especially important to you. Introducing new Fresh Mint Crest, Tartar Fighter. Watch, tartar is so hard a dentist has to remove it. Well, now Crest's new tartar fighting formula helps keep tartar from coming back above the gum line. Prolongs that just clean feeling. New Fresh Mint Crest, Tartar Fighter.
Introducing new Ultra Pampers. The one diaper so dry, it'll take on the rest.
On your marks.
Revolutionary Ultra Pampers. Even when it's wet, it's dry, because it works in an entirely different way. Only ultra-thin Pampers has a unique lock-away core that locks virtually all wetness away from baby's tender skin. See? You can pour on this much wetness, and the lock-away core keeps it locked inside. New ultra-thin Ultra Pampers. It's the only diaper this dry. It's the winner. It's the driest.
There's nothing tougher than cleaning up the kitchen.
Hi, Mom.
Unless it's cleaning up the bathroom.
Hi, Mom.
All the dirt and germs. So I don't just clean. I cometize. See, Comet cleans so clean, it disinfects. Even kills germs here. Bathroom or kitchen, don't just clean, cometize.
The Lloyds Bank second period scoring summary. Bankers 2, Team Canada. Only one goal in that second frame, again on the power play for the Czechs. It was Dusan Pashak from Staviana and Sheba coming at the 10:54 mark, 3-0 after 2 periods of play. Shots on goal now even for the game. The Soviets coming back to have 3 more than the Czechs in that second period. 3 goals on 14 shots, Czechs scoring on 21% of their opportunities. I thought I'd throw that in because you're dealing in percentages now instead of highlights.
That's right. We are dealing in percentages. We're going to, the skills are there. They're there for the forwards. We're going to see some goaltender skills too. But first of all, the percentages, as we saw them in the second period, look at the Czechs at 59.8% and the USSR 64.2%. They're always around 60 to 70% in their passing, and I think that's excellent. But we got to talk about some other skills, and let's look at Dominik Pashak, the goaltender. The Soviets moved the puck so well. A couple of passes. Now watch the top of the slot. It's going to be open right here. The pass is going to go, but Hasek makes the good deflection and saves themselves a lot of problem. He was out spectacular that period. Look at this point shot. The deflection, the rebound, 1 save, 2 save, and then he knocks it away. And Pashak is the reason that the Czechs are playing so well. Now this, as far as I'm concerned, was his best save of the period. From Tataranoff over into the corner. Now you've got Semyonov. He's going to look, he's going to go across the Svetlov, but look how quick that Hasek is there. And when you get goaltending like that, things click at the other end, the power play goal. Look at this, 1, 2. We've got a 3-0 hockey game, and the Czechs are going to love this one. They're just having the time of their life out there to have the Russians down 3-0 going into the third period.
We know the Soviets can score 3 in about 14 seconds, let alone an entire period of play, so we can't write them off, can we?
You can't write them off. The one problem they do have is that they don't have as experienced a team as they'd like. They've got that 1 5-man unit, but they're relatively inexperienced after that.
20 minutes, that's all the Russians have left to catch up with the Czechs, who lead 3-0 here in the gold medal final of the Labatt's Calgary Cup, live on CTV.
Now and then, when I can't sleep, overtired, maybe a bit worried, Nitol helps. Nitol's single trusted ingredient helps me drift off into restful sleep. It may work for you. Nitol.
You have a miserable, rotten cold that's keeping you awake. Looks like another sleepless night. But there's a way you can fight that cold. Neocitrin. It soothes and comforts a miserable cold. Hot, lemony Neocitrin with medication to reduce fever, relieve pain, stuffy nose, and sniffles to help you sleep all night long, all cold long. Neocitrin, nighttime warmth for your miserable cold.
It's here. The ultimate from the brick. The brick breaks through with the most incredible offer ever. No down payment, no interest until 1989 on furnishings. And $19.88 on a wide selection of appliances, televisions, video recorders, and stereos. Buy a traditional quilted cotton sofa and chair for only $10.80. Make no down payment and just 24 payments of $45 with no interest at all. The brick breaks through.
Get it before it's gone.
January 18 and 19, Shirley MacLaine stars in a world premiere.
That little gang of mine.
What is it about California that brings out all this spaced out new stuff?
Out on a Limb, coming to CFTO.
And we remind you, following tonight's telecast, the Labatt's most valuable player from each team will receive one of the 5 series of the 1988 Olympic Winter Games sterling silver coins, commemorating a major Olympic sport. Here at the Saddle Dome in Calgary, a shocker, 3-0. Czechoslovakia leading the Soviet Union going into the third period. And Dan, you look at the situation the Soviets face right now, some teams would have a big problem, but the Soviet Union practices at a very high tempo. It's a much higher tempo than they actually play on game days. They are capable of turning this game up a couple of notches. And so don't write them off. As Dan Matheson said at the end of the intermission period, they are clearly capable of moving up to such a tempo that they completely swallow up their opposition. Now, we've also seen Czechoslovakia doing a great job of getting to the puck ahead of the Soviets and so on, and that probably is the difference in the hockey game right now.
Ron, I heard you make the comment earlier that a couple of guys in Czechoslovakia had to show up tonight. One was Ruzicka, the other Pashek. Pashek's had a goal and an assist. Ruzicka a goal. Looks like they've showed up.
Well, they showed up finally in this tournament, and at exactly the right time. The Soviets need one guy, I think, to get his game going, and that is Fetisov. He's a wheelman from the defense. He makes the offense go. And right now, the Soviets have been held off the board. That does not happen very often. Although we can say that at the Izvestia tournament, the Soviets managed just 1 goal against Czechoslovakia and Hasek. And there's Dusan Pashek. As we mentioned, a goal and an assist. Another player from the Czechoslovakian Army team known as Dukla Shilava. And a draft choice in 1982 by the Minnesota North Stars. He's a Slovak, by the way. There are only a couple of them on the team. As we look at the coach, Jan Starcy, and František Pospišil, one of the greatest defensemen ever to play in Europe. On the left of your screen, and there, of course, is Tikhonov, who I'm sure has had a lot to say in the last 15 minutes or so to a team that's come up flat in a championship game.
Brad Park and Dan Matheson were talking about the Soviets being able to score 3 goals in 14 seconds or 3 goals very quickly. The question is, can they score 3 goals quickly or at all on the goaltender, Dominik Hasek, who's been brilliant for Czechoslovakia. Here we go with the third period at the Calgary Cup at the Olympic Saddle Dome. Hope you've enjoyed our CTV coverage for the past week. And we are ready for the third period. 3-0 for Czechoslovakia over the Soviet Union. The big line of Larionov, Makarov, and Krutov out there with the defense combination of Kasatonov and Fetisov. Here's Fetisov to Makarov, number 24. Swings around one man, now Larionov trying to center. Hasek out of the net to clear it, and Chaika knocks it away with Fetisov back together. Here's Larionov to Makarov. Trying to get through, couldn't, and Czechoslovakia, Horsheva clearing one ahead for Liba. He couldn't get it centered. And it's Fetisov for the Soviets. Fetisov into Krutov, broken up and cleared out of there by Bolshik. Katarinov, now a cross-ice pass. And moving in, Svetlov gets it into the Czechoslovakian end. Horsheva trying to clear it. Soviets jamming up on the boards. Kamensky. Here's Kamensky again. But Czechoslovakia able to get it out of there. And going back and controlling the Soviets at their own line. Here's Semyonov, number 30. Drop pass into the corner. Bolshik for Czechoslovakia. Shooting it around to Bolak, but held in by Semyonov. Soviets down by 3. Czechoslovakia with Horsheva clearing it all the way down the ice. And the goaltender, fellow shaken out to set it up. Here's Homatop, number 15. Homatop barging through the defense. Backhander. And a good save there by Hasek. Now into the corner. Barnikov trying to center. Barnikov out in front. Banned on his shot as he was tied up by Sherbaum. And then Czechoslovakia cleared out of there with the Soviets still not back together. Jebekov, number 27. Over onto the wing. Now they can't get anywhere, and the Soviets have to circle back. This is Bekov. Over to Starikov. Now into center ice to Homatop, who's been one of the best of the Soviets tonight. Homatop, number 15. Dropping it back. Comes to Stelnov. Shot deflected. Oh, that's just wide as Barnikov deflected it. Pressure by the Soviets. The shot goes wide. Stelnov holding it in. But Stabiana for Czechoslovakia trying to clear it. Now held in again. A drive from the point by Starikov. Blocked at the defense, and Banach tries to clear it, and does. Here's a 2-on-1 break for Czechoslovakia. Shot by Pasek just wide. Now Chaika holding it in. And going back to Starikov, number 12. Starikov into center ice to Kryakin. Kryakin trying to get it in front. And then Czechoslovakia clear it out. Gusarov, number 3. Rink wide to Kryakin. Kryakin to Homalov. Couldn't get it centered, and then when he did, the net was knocked loose, and we got to stop it. From the Saddle Dome, this is the Calgary Cup live on CTV.
This is how Chevy's soaring ahead now. Introducing the 87 Chevy Nova. And while we could tell you about the room, ride, handling, but quality and price, it's when you drive it that you'll simply say it's absolutely right. 87 Chevy Nova, the right value from Chevy.
Way to go, Chevy.
Well, they went 3 minutes and 23 seconds without a whistle to start the period. The Soviet Union starting to get it going now here in the third period finally, but they still haven't been able to crack the shell of the Czechoslovak defense.
And here's that green unit, the unit that usually gets the Soviet Union going. And we get an immediate stoppage as they jam up. Makarov being pinned in against the boards.
Years ago, Sergei Makarov's brother, who used to play with the Central Army team, never made the national team, brought a young boy from Siberia to Moscow, introduced him to Valery Harlamov, and that young fellow there says, I'm going to play for the Soviet national team. And about 10 years later, he did, and he is still playing with them, still playing great hockey.
Face-off won by Czechoslovakia and immediately cleared out. Batisov to Larionov, number 11. Number 7, Kasatona to Krutov. Missed him, and Czechoslovakia come back. Petra Volk with a long shot. Fellow shaken handling it. Larionov now stolen by Czechoslovakia. Trying to work it in front is Dolina, number 23. And now Fetisov to Larionov, number 11. Larionov gets it through the defense, and then it's grabbed by Hasek. And he held onto it for a faceoff.
And that young fellow, who many people in the National Hockey League thought might defect. There was a lot of rumor to that end, but he is not. He's recently married. He's happy, and he is in the Soviet Union and will remain there. Drafted by Vancouver a couple of years ago, but Igor Larionov, who speaks English fluently and actually partied with Team Canada after the Canada Cup most recently. That's, I think, what started the rumors, but I think probably the rumors were a lot more rampant here than the Soviet Union. I think he's quite content where he is. Dolezal took a shot there, and he's on the limp a bit.
Tatarinov let it go. It deflected and went up into the crowd, and then Tatarinov goes and gets a new stick. The line of Semyonov, Kamensky, and Svetlov up front. Pervukin and Tatarinov on defense. Pervukin on the boards. Getting it to Kamensky, and it comes back to Tatarinov. Tatarinov to Semyonov, number 30. Semyonov working it in. Oh, and it comes back to Semyonov. Shot just wide. Svetlov, number 16, to Semyonov. Pinned in there by two players from Czechoslovakia. Now back to get it again. Sherban trying to clear it. Held in by Pervukin. And then the puck flips up into the crowd, and someone has a souvenir of the Calgary Cup. From the Saddle Dome, this is the Calgary Cup live on CTV.
Taster's Choice Instant Coffee is naturally decaffeinated in a completely unique way, using only natural oils of the coffee bean to remove caffeine. So a natural coffee taste is still left for you to enjoy. Taster's Choice Decaffeinated. At last, a natural coffee taste without caffeine.
Soviet Union down 3-0, 15:09 left. The forward line of Bekov, Varnikov, and Homatov with Starikov and Stelnov on defense. Into the corner, Shaika trying to tie up the Soviet player. But it's Homatov. He continues to battle. Homatov trying to drop it back. Shot from the point by Stelnov is handled, and now it's cleared out by Czechoslovakia. Horseva couldn't get it out of there. Into the corner after it. Varnikov, number 19. Varnikov around in the boards, but Horseva there. Able to clear it out, then it's shot back in by the defenseman Stelnov, but it's offside at Team Czechoslovakia's blue line.
The fellow there is František Pospišil, who is now an assistant coach to Jan Starcy. What a hockey player he was. He wore number 7 for Czechoslovakia for a lot of years. He was the captain of Czechoslovakia from 1972 all the way through the 70s, through a couple of world championships, played almost 262, did play 262 international games, which is 4th all time in Czechoslovakia.
Here's a deflection by Nemchinov, and a good save there by Hasek. Shot came from the point by Gusarov, and Nemchinov was there to deflect it.
There's the shot, and it's a perfect, not a shot, but a pass. It was not intended to reach the net. It was intended to be deflected.
It was. They're very astute at that. They see things when they pick the puck up at the point. Not very many defensemen are going to pick those type of things up, but all the Russian defensemen did.
Soviets have the Czechs pinned in their own zone. Here's a pass into the corner as Bryakin tries to center. Can't get it done. Czechoslovakia now clearing it, and they get it by Gusarov. Now back comes Czechoslovakia, and the play goes offside as the Czechoslovak player Yanetsky tried to take a dive to draw a penalty, but it didn't work. From the Saddle Dome, this is the Calgary Cup live on CTV.
Did you ever have to make up your mind to pick up on one and leave the other behind? It's not often easy and not often kind. Did you ever have to make up your mind? Did you ever have to finally decide to say yes to one and let the other one die?
Double Blue, Blue and Blue Light. 2 great beers, 1 tough decision.
Did you ever have to finally decide?
Calgary Cup, Labatt Breweries of Canada announced the tales of the Olympic Parents Program. It's quite a thing, really, for the parents of competitors here. They're going to get an opportunity to come to Calgary for the Winter Games in 1988. And Labatt's will provide prepaid return air transportation to Calgary from the homes of the parents. It's a great opportunity and a really wonderful move by Labatt's.
The big line of Larionov, Krutov, and Makarov out there. Here's Fetisov to Makarov. Makarov for the Soviets. To Fetisov. Shoots one. That's blocked by Staviana. Penalty coming up to Czechoslovakia. And now as Volk gets the puck and cleared it, That tripling penalty has been called, and Czechoslovakia will be shorthanded, trying to protect a 3-0 lead.
I'll just watch the right leg of the Czech defender here. That's a pretty good trip there, and you get away with that quite often. It slipped up behind him and just lifted him up.
It was a penalty. It's one of those things you want to slide the guy down to your leg so it doesn't look like there's a big herky-jerky kick out or a cross check or something like that. The one thing that I'm seeing here, the Russians are having difficulty tonight with the Czechs, where they didn't have that difficulty with Team Canada, Team USA. The Russian defensemen haven't been able to hold the puck long enough to really break their speedy forwards away. The Czechs are as quick as skaters as the Russians. Therefore, they get to the Russian defensemen, and they can't hold that puck to get those big breaks.
Well, look at the life on that Czechoslovakian bench. They're really excited about what's going on out there now.
Soviets on a power play. They're 0 for 7 tonight on the power play. Larionov trying to get it loose on the board. Does. But Czechoslovakia able to shoot it out of there. They have 13 minutes left. This is Fetisov for the Soviet Union to Krutov. Now Kasatonov. Ahead to Krutov. Broken up and shot away by Czechoslovakia's Yaroslav Banach. Here's Fetisov. To Makarov, number 24. Makarov tied up, and Staviana able to clear it out of there. Bolo shaken to set it up. Now here's Kasatonov. And then cleared away by Horsheva for Czechoslovakia. Fetisov back to get it. Crowd here in Calgary have been rooting for Czechoslovakia all night, and they're starting to rev it up. Here's Makarov clearing it in. Krutov in to get it. Now Horsheva able to shoot it up.
Well, they're doing a great job, and again, the Soviets are not getting in. They're dumping it in and then not getting in there to get the puck, and they're making it easy for Czechoslovakia.
The Czechoslovakian forwards are doing such a good job of checking and kind of mixing things up in center right so things aren't running smoothly for the Soviets. And if you watch, the Czech forwards are only taking 20, maybe 25-second shifts.
Any thoughts, Brad, on the Soviets' problems in the power play tonight?
Well, that's been a problem. I think Hasek's been their biggest problem. They've got the shots, but he's just stopped everything that's thrown at him.
Here's Homatov trying to center, comes back to Homatov, right in. And a block there by Bushik to knock it away. Now Banach trying to clear it. Held in by the Soviets, but back checking by Hrdina gets it into the corner. And then, with Czechoslovakia back at full strength, they clear it down the ice. Soviets still now bleeding a rush. 3-0 in favor of Czechoslovakia. Stelna into the corner. Staviana there. Stelna trying to get it in front, but now Czechoslovakia breaking out. Got it to the line, and then it's cleared away. Czechoslovakia, Staviana couldn't get it in, and Bekov knocked it down. Here comes Homatov, number 15, into the zone, but Liba there for Czechoslovakia. Now over for Sherban. Shot in by Sherban, and it deflects into the corner. Soviet Union playing catch-up here. Varnikov getting it into center ice. Now a chance, and unable to get around the defense for the Soviets was Svetlov. Soviets holding it in, but Czechoslovakia work it to Chaika. He cleared it to the line. Now Liba trying to drop it back. Comes right back for Horsheva, who shoots it away. And as Katarina goes back to play it, Bello shaken had to, and there was no icing. Now into center ice. Czechoslovakia, Dolazhov knocking it ahead for Ruzichka, who shoots it in. And going back for the Soviets, Pervukin. This time it is icing against Czechoslovakia. From the Saddle Dome, this is the Calgary Cup, live on CTV.
For little girls, calcium is important for growing bones. Through the teens, calcium helps make bones strong. Women still need calcium so bones stay healthy. If you're not eating the right foods, you may be missing calcium. Add Caltrate 600 to your diet. It has 600 milligrams of calcium per tablet, and Caltrate has less than 1 calorie. Caltrate and new Caltrate plus vitamin D. Calcium to help keep bone healthy.
We're down to 9:46 remaining. Soviets trailing 3-0. Czechoslovakia in their own zone, and Dolezal cleared it out of there, but it's called back on a two-line offside pass.
Well, tomorrow on CTV, New England against Denver. That's the late game, the 4 o'clock game in the NFL playoffs, the AFC semifinal. And the winner of that, of course, will go on next weekend to meet the Cleveland Browns for the AFC championship.
Soviet Union at their own line, clearing it up the ice. Now try and move in, and Chinov couldn't get anywhere. Back comes Boschik, moving it in onto the wing. Now centered, but intercepted by the Soviets. Cleared to center, and Boschik with the toughest body check of the night, really racking up Homolov on a clean body check. Now Nepchimnov gets to center. Couldn't get any further. Soviets Perbukin shooting it in. But it's shot right back out by Czechoslovakia. And they're going to rule that Tatarinov could have played it on the way down, so there's no icing. Soviets trying to get out of their own zone at this point. They're trailing 3-0 in the gold medal game. Fetisov to Makarov. In behind the defense, Makarov looking for Larionov. Can't get it to him. Center to Krutov. Missed him with it. Here's Fetisov. Into the corner. Now Krutov to Fetisov, but Petrovok able to clear it away. And Kasatonov had to hustle back to beat Dolezal. Now Larionov clearing at Staviana, who's been a tower of strength defensively, broke it up. Shot in by the Soviets. Staviana there again. And then it's cleared out by Czechoslovakia. Soviets with just over 8 minutes left, down 3-0. Here's Fetisov to Makarov. Makarov fanned on the shot, still loose, but cleared by Chaika, and Fetisov couldn't hold it in at the point. Fetisov to Kasatonov. Back to Fetisov. 7:45 left. Fetisov giving it to Homatov. Homatov into center ice for Bekov. Back for Homatov. Trying to center. They drop it back. Shot for the point. That's blocked. And here's Cherny for Czechoslovakia. And he just dumps it in. Soviet Union with Stelnov, number 4. Into center ice to Bekov. Over onto the wing. Now centered to Homatov, but knocked away. And back comes Czechoslovakia. Pashek's long shot wide. Sheva held it in. Now Pashek gets it on the other wing. A quick shot. Beloshakin handling that. And here's Stelnov for the Soviets. Less than 7 minutes to play in the third period. Homatov into the zone. Homatov still with the puck. Homatov and checked in the play. And back comes Czechoslovakia. Breaking into center ice. Bolek. Over onto the wing for Banach. Back to Bolek. Now Tatarinov cleared it into the corner. In there is Dolezal, number 15. Tatarinov for the Soviets. And Tatarinov just had to flip it to center. Soviets circling. Bekov, number 27. Into center ice. Soviets now work it to Semyonov. Over onto the wing, and Kamensky's long shot wide. Now held in by Gusarov. Puck back of the Czechoslovak goal. Staviana clearing it. Held in by Perbukin at the point. And a jam up on the near boards. Centered a shot. Up high as the man in the slot was wide open, but the shot by the Soviet player Svetlov went up high. Svetlov opened again. He scores! Svetlov on a setup there by Kamensky, and the Soviets break the shutout with 5:42 left.
Well, with 5:42 left, they've been keeping the area in front of the net clear until just about this moment. And again, it was just kind of a good chance first. Now this one just chipped out there, and all he had to do was chip it right into the net. Svetlov getting it. wide open side, and even then, Hasek was across there, had a shot at it. It was chipped over top of him. So Svetlov gets the goal, and look out, because the Soviets will be coming at him now, even with 5:42 left.
Sergei Svetlov with the goal, number 16. He had just missed one earlier, and he put it over top of the net. But that time he put it in. Here's Makarov as the Soviet charge on the attack. Dumping it in. Fetisov to Makarov. Makarov centered. Oh, and that's shot wide. Czechoslovakia under pressure, clearing it out of there. Fired all the way down the ice. And it's icing as Kasatnov is back to touch it. 5:23 left from the Saddle Dome. This is the Calgary Cup live on CTV.
Again, tonight's game attendance is as follows.
Morning, dear. Need a hand?
I would love a sit-down breakfast, but there's no time.
Now there is, silly. Aunt Jemima has pancakes you cook in a toaster.
Toaster?
And they have the same great taste that made Aunt Jemima famous.
He really likes them.
Doesn't everyone?
Aunt Jemima, great pancakes for busy mornings.
Well, Vladislav Tretiak signing a lot of autographs. I think he'd like to go down and help out a little bit right now. His team trailing by a couple. That's Vladimir and wife Tatiana watching here in the Vladislav Tretiak right here in the Saddle Dome.
There's a quick shot right from the face-off by Krutov that the Czech goaltender Hasek had to be sharp on. The big line, Larionov, Makarov, and Krutov out there. Here's Kasatonov, the defenseman. Drops it to Larionov. Shot into the corner. Horsheva for Czechoslovakia cleared it. Held in. Here is a chance as the Soviets move in. Fetisov to Makarov. Couldn't get turned around. Back to Fetisov. And he shot. Now Kasatonov is checked as the puck is knocked to center ice. Krutov has it there to Fetisov to Krutov. Krutov moving in. Shoots! Hasek the save. As the defenseman Horsheva fell down. Now centered. And Czechoslovakia's Chaika able to knock it out of there. With Kasatonov back to get it, number 7.
They're really cranking it up now, Dan. They've got their game going. Now it's a matter of can Czechoslovakia weather the storm.
Back off, clearing it in. Czechoslovakia trying to shoot it right back out, and they do. And Sheva tried to break in, did, but it's offside at the Soviet blue line. From the Saddle Dome, this is the Calgary Cup live on CTV.
Your skin has a biorhythm all its own. And now, from Japan, Shiseido Biotechnology responds. BH24 Day-Night Essence, the moisture magnet. Protection by day, replenishment by night. Shiseido BH24 Day-Night Essence. 4 drops a day, radiance tomorrow. This and a special Shiseido bonus are waiting for you now at Simpsons.
4:04 remaining here in the third period. Soviets have scored. They've outshot Czechoslovakia 5-1 in this period. 19-15 in the game. Here's Sheva with a pass ahead for... Now it was broken up by the Soviets, and right back they quickly come. Barnikov, number 19, but he runs onto a brick wall at center ice. Going back for the Soviets, Stelnov. Stelnov leading a rush. In onto the wing, but Staviana there to knock it away, and he's going to get a penalty. And Czechoslovakia will be shorthanded here with 3:33 left from the Saddle Dome. This is the Calgary Cup live on CTV.
Whatever your financial goals are, the life insurance industry has the products to help you achieve them. We offer RRSPs and a wide choice of savings and retirement income plans. We can help you build for the future and provide guaranteed protection for you and your family. A sound, secure financial plan can help you achieve tomorrow's goals without sacrificing your enjoyment of today. Talk Talk to your life insurance agent about the best way to achieve financial security.
3:33 left, and Antonin Staviana picks up the penalty right there. Borderline stuff, I have to think. And look at the reaction from the bench. So in Czechoslovakia, Don Godet, the referee, is not the most popular guy.
Soviets on a power play. 0 for 8 on the power play tonight. Dolezhal trying to get it out. He couldn't, but the trailer for Czechoslovakia does shoot it up. We're down to 3:15 to play. Soviets in their own zone. Stelnov, number 4. Ahead on the wing to Bekov. Cross-ice pass as the Soviets try and spring a man free on the power play. Back on the point, shot off a skate, and cleared by Czechoslovakia. Down the ice as Dolezhal shot it up. Back comes Starikov, number 12. Leaving it for Makarov, who's just over the boards. Now Larionov carrying in. Larionov a shot. Off the glove of the goaltender, and then cleared away by Czechoslovakia. A minute left in the penalty. 2:33 left in the third period. This is Fetisov on the Soviet power play. Can't get it through. Shot back out by Czechoslovakia's Kucherov. Now Kasatonov, number 7, trying to carry in. Kasatonov in behind it up to Larionov, to Makarov, to Fetisov. Now to Fetisov, over to Kasatonov. Shoots one, just wide. Krutov trying to center. He's pinned in against the boards, and then Horsheva cleared it away. Fetisov pinching into Makarov. Now to Larionov. 18 seconds left in the penalty. To Fetisov. Now Larionov closing in, centered. That was just chipped away. And then Pashek cleared it away for Czechoslovakia. 5 seconds left in the penalty. 1:36 left in the third period. Here's Fetisov as now the penalized player Staviana back on. Soviets, Krutov firing it in. And then the goaltender, Pashek, decides to freeze it back to the net. And now Krutov getting a step up in front of the net with one of the Czechoslovak defensemen. We're down to 1:20 remaining.
Well, we've got a David and Goliath situation here. The Soviet Union, a country of 250 million people. Czechoslovakia, a country of 15 million people. In the whole country of Czechoslovakia, they have just 70 indoor rinks. That's about the number I think you have in suburban Toronto. And yet here they are, really socking it to the Soviet Union, and they've done a great job.
There's a bouncing puck by Tatarinov from the point, wide of the net, and then grabbed by Hasek as it came off the boards. 21-year-old Dominik Hasek has been a key man tonight.
We've had a grand total in this game of 34 shots, 19-15. Czechoslovakia has kept the game under control and have allowed Hasek a lot of protection. And then he's made the big saves when he's had to.
Now the Czech Sardina clearing it down the ice. Soviets back to get it as they fight the clock. 1 minute left. Get it to center, but Staviana, who's been outstanding on defense, cleared it back in. And it's Tatarina shooting it to center. Knocked back in by Herdina. Now taken by the Soviets. Here's Tatarina, but he couldn't get around the defenseman Staviana, who broke it up again. Now Semyonov, number 30, in to get it. And again, Staviana back for Czechoslovakia, clearing it out of there. Wide of the net it will go as the Soviet player Verbuchen back to touch it. We're down to 28 seconds. That's how far away Czechoslovakia is from the gold medal in the Calgary Cup.
You saw the veteran Verbuchen look up at the clock. He knows that it's ticking away here. 28 seconds remaining. There have been just some great games between Czechoslovakia and the Soviet Union. Czechoslovakia winning the World Championship 2 years ago in Prague, beating Canada. There's a timeout been called here. 28 seconds remaining. And In Prague, the final game came down to Canada and Czechoslovakia for the gold medal. See if we can listen in here, but of course we won't understand a thing. Pospisil is the man in front, the assistant coach.
And taken off at the Soviet bench.
There are a lot of laughing on that Czechoslovakian bench. Nothing at all, of course, coming out of the Soviets, who are a dejected lot right now. They came out flat in this game, and they really only got their game going in after the 5-minute mark of the third period.
Ron, I don't know how many times that I've mentioned the name Staviana on the Czech defense. Number 16, he's 23 years of age. Shot from the point, they score! The original shot was blocked, but they get the rebound and with 24 seconds left, the Soviets narrow the gap to 3-2. It's not over yet.
Well, that's Starikov at the blue line, just getting it in there. Now the rebound, Bekov is there. Also right there is Homotov, who has been very, very important to the Soviets in this game. Here it is again, loose in front of the net. Homotov on the backhand, and he gets it in there. If there's been one player on the Soviet team who has been there all night long, it has been Homotov. And he finally has something to show for it.
By the way, that defenseman Staviana I'm mentioning is a 23-year-old draft choice of the Calgary Flames. Meanwhile, 24 seconds left. Can the Soviets pull it out? At center ice, it comes to the Soviet blue line, and they fire it up and kick it in, digging in after it. Now on the boards, Bekov can't center. Czechoslovakia clear it. The goal is empty. 6 attackers for the Soviets. Makarov back with 5 seconds left. Makarov trying to shoot it in. This game is over. Czechoslovakia, as you look at Hoshek do a dance, wins the Calgary Cup and the gold medal with a 3-2 upset over the Soviet Union. Do you think the folks in Calgary like it? And do you think that Czechoslovakian national team isn't happy? Final, Czechoslovakia 3. The Soviet Union 2 from the Saddle Dome. This is the Calgary Cup live on CTV.
Let's face it, you don't care that your new Eliminator battery from MotoMaster is guaranteed for as long as you own your car, or that you'll never have to pay for another replacement battery again. You don't care that no car battery comes with a tougher guarantee than the Eliminator. Right now, all you care about is the Eliminator from MotoMaster. It's the last battery you'll ever buy for your car. Only at Canadian Tire.
The essence of bobsledding. The new sled feels like gliding on silk. The essence of shaving. This is new Atra Plus, an incredible advance in Gillette shaving smoothness. The Plus is the unique lubricating strip that glides the razor effortlessly. You never felt anything smoother. New Atra Plus by Gillette. The essence of shaving.
Czechoslovakia 3 and the Soviet Union 2. The official post-game ceremonies about to take place, including the presentation of the gold medal to Czechoslovakia. Let's go to the ice service here at the Saddle Dome.
Ladies and gentlemen, to make the Labatt's Players of the Game Awards presentation, the Labatt's Calgary Cup Honorary Chairman, Vladislav Tretiak. And Mr. Bob Binnendijk, Vice President, Labatt's Prairie Region. For Team Czechoslovakia, number 2, Dominik Hasek.
Can't argue with that selection, can you?
Absolutely not. He was. Well, you keep the Soviets off the board for 2 periods, allow your team to get in front as he did, and then weather a storm at the end.
By the way, Hasek is property of the Chicago Blackhawks.
Number 15, Andrei Komuta.
Well, Homotov was clearly the best Soviet here.
Had their second goal late in the game at 1936 to make it close, and he was a driving force all night.
Well, they compare him a little bit to Ken Linseman. He's a very gutty kind of a player.
The presentation of the Labatt's Calgary Cup will be made by Bob Benendijk. To number 21, the team captain of the winning team, Team Czechoslovakia, Dusan Pashek.
Speaking of having a good game, Pashek really showed up tonight.
Had a goal and an assist.
And the presentation of the Labatt's Calgary Cup gold medal to be made by Mr. Benendijk to, again, the captain of the winning team, number 21, Dusan Pashek.
Pashek had gone back to join his teammates. He's going to have to come back to center ice for the acceptance of the gold medal. And I don't think they'll have to argue with him to get him out there.
I think they're very proud of this. They're beaten 4-0 earlier in the tournament, come back when it counted.
Czechoslovakia, the gold medal winner here at the Calgary Cup. 3-2 victors over the Soviet Union.
Calgary Cup silver medal to be made by Vladislav Tretiak to the captain of the second place team, Team USSR, number 2, Vyacheslav Fetisov.
A silver medal for the Soviet Union. They're not used to having silver medals.
No. He gets a good hand. That's a nice shot of Tretiak.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the national anthem of tonight's winning team, Team Czechoslovakia.
Czechoslovakia, the gold medal winners here in Calgary. They win the championship game over the Soviet Union 3-2. That man, the key figure, Dominik Hasek, the goaltender. From the Saddle Dome, this has been the Calgary Cup, live on CTV.
You got a thirst for life. You put more in. You get more out. You got a thirst for life. And the more you put in, the more you get out. This spot's for you. Crisp, clean. Like Beechwood HT says we put more in. This spot's for you. We put more in.
Computerland's Business Blitz is for
small business.
It'll even do my accounting.
Big business.
We can network.
Even mom and pop.
It's easy.
And kid business.
Wow.
Save on your answer. Toshiba's T3100. Full AT power plus 640K memory and a 10 megabyte hard disk. Or the T1100 Plus. Takes you farther than any other portable. Pound for pound, the world's most powerful computer.
When you need answers now, it's Computerland.
The Lloyds Bank scoring summary, bankers to Team Canada. Czechoslovakia got it cranked up from the opening whistle, and just 3 minutes and 4 seconds into the gold medal game, František Černý put the puck behind Yevgeny Beloshakin, and the Czechs never trailed in this hockey game. Vladimir Ruzicka on the power play, his first goal of the tournament, made it 2-0 after the first 20 minutes of play. Just one goal in the second frame by Dusan Pashek, also on the power play, which proved to be effective for the Czechs tonight. 3-0 into the final frame. Back came the Soviets on late goals by Sergei Svetlov and Andrei Homatov. They're both coming with less than 5 minutes to play in the hockey game. The final is 3-2. There's the shots on goal. The Soviets with 21. The Czechs only had 16. Brad Park, our analyst, it looked to me like the Soviets have been victimized by their own sloppy play. They had a slow start, they were careless, they made too many mistakes, and then Hasek played Horatio at the bridge, and it was all over.
You're right. There's no doubt about it. As far as the Soviets were concerned, you started to see some individualism creep in. They started getting careless. They're trying to do it themselves. No respect for the Czechs. However, the Czechs had the big heart going tonight. They showed everything that they had, and they deserved the win. And the guy who was the key was Dominik Hasek. Look at this. One save, comes back, the rebound too. Now watch his left hand as he tips it away, so there's not a third shot. A great save. He did this also twice tonight. The poke check. He was so good with that stick. Passes come across. The guy goes out. There goes the stick. You got to credit him with being a major league goaltender. If he's making saves like that and he's using the stick like that, you've got to credit him with a lot of experience for a young guy.
The Czech defensemen were keeping the slot relatively clear. They were throwing themselves in front of pucks. But it seems to me tonight that we've seen the same old thing with the Soviets before. They have scoring opportunities. They do not shoot.
They do. They get a little fancy. Everything's got to be, you know, they were waiting for the camera to go off. They want to be a picture play. But, you know, in the game of hockey, it moves so fast. If you've got a shot, you better take it, and you've got to count on somebody going for the rebound.
Would you say that it looked to you, and it did appear to me, that the Czechs were far more into this game than the Soviets?
Oh, yeah. They got shut out the other night, you know, and playing the Soviets, that's their big kick. That's their thrill. They just thrive, and they learn how to play hockey to beat the Soviets.
The Soviets, in fact, shut out the Czechs at the Izvestia 1-0 in the final. They shut them out 4-0 earlier in this tournament, but the Czechs turned the tables. Now, is the talent on this Czech team, now Jan Starshi says it isn't, but is the talent on this team to compete effectively with the Soviet club down the road?
It is when you win a big game like this. If the Czechs had to play their best and come up short, now they're going to start questioning themselves the next time they play the Soviets. But tonight, they got that early goal. They got the second goal, the third goal. You could see them on the bench. I mean, you know, most European teams sit there, okay, boys, up and down. Okay, who's up next? These guys are up there, standing, they're yelling. Even the coaches were standing on the bench.
Well, it was a terrific finish tonight. I know that Dan Kelly and Ron Roosh also enjoyed it.
Okay, Dan, they don't wear hats like this in Czechoslovakia, but I'm sure the gold medal winning Czechoslovak team will bring a hat or two home with them.
Well, I think that they have probably stocked up on hats and everything else. They're taking home the medals. And, you know, we've heard complaints of the Soviet Union in their rebuilding program. Haven't been doing very well. We heard the same thing from the Czechoslovakian side. Czechoslovakia, as Brad said, came up with a big heart tonight. They showed that they are well on their way to rebuilding.
And I think, Ron, when you point out the difference in the size of these countries proves what a major victory this is for Czechoslovakia.
Czechoslovakia, I think, has the best hockey system in the world. There's absolutely no doubt about it. Any country that has just 70 indoor rinks can produce the kind of athletes that they have produced, not only this year and what we saw here tonight, but over the years. They're the only team since 1962 that has beaten the Soviets in the World Hockey Championship. They just continually keep producing great hockey players. It's not the #1 sport in Czechoslovakia. It's #2 to soccer. But they seem to have a system that develops, does not waste players, keeps them on track, and carries them right through to the World Championship level.
And it looks as though Czechoslovakia has another goaltender to go with some of the great ones they've had in the past. Hasek playing spectacularly. Back to you, Dan.
Well, Haas Kelly and Tex Roos, thank you very much for your contributions in the Calgary Cup tournament. Brad, it's been fun once again. You enjoy this kind of hockey?
I did. This is the first time that I really got to sit down and take a good example and be there live, and I really enjoyed it.
Well, I hope your Czech and Soviet, your Russian pronunciations are coming along, because we're going to have a lot of it next year. February of 1988, we'll all be back here one more time in the Olympic Saddle Dome for the 1988 Winter Olympic Games. This has been part of the pre-Olympic tournaments spread all around Calgary, getting ready for those games, and certainly this has been a big, big success. Congratulations to all the organizers. Congratulations to the Czechs. They win the gold medal of the Labatt's Calgary Cup with a big win over the Soviets. The Labatt's Calgary Cup has been brought to you in part by General Motors of Canada, who invite you to join them at the Calgary 1988 Olympic Winter Games. This telecast is copyright and is strictly for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction, retransmission, or exhibition in whole or in part without the express written consent of the CTV television network is strictly prohibited.
This is the CTV Television Network.
In fashion modeling.
And the bronze medal at the pre-Olympic Calgary Cup hockey tournament last night with an EDC 6-1 win over Team USA. Tonight it was the gold medal contest. The Soviet Union finished round-robin play undefeated with a record of 3-0. Tonight they met the 2-1 Czechoslovakians.
Czechoslovakia in red goes up 1-0 early in the first period. The pass ahead to František Černý. He goes in alone. The Soviet goalie makes the first save, but Černý scores on his own rebound. 1-0 Czechoslovakia. The Czechs go up 2-0. Nice passing play deep in the Soviet zone. The pass to Vladimir Ruzicka at the side of the net. He reaches in front and scores on the power play. 2-0 Czechoslovakia. The Czechs scored the only goal of the second period midway through on the power play. The pass to Dusan Pauček at the corner of the net. He scores for a 3-0 Czechoslovakian lead after 2 periods. The Soviets finally score a goal late in the third period. Along the boards, the pass to Sergei Svetlov, who was all alone in front of the net. That cuts Czechoslovakia's lead to 3-1. Then with about 20 seconds left to play in the game, from the face-off back to Startikov at the blue line. His shot is stopped, but Homotov is there. He scores, but it wasn't enough. Czechoslovakia hangs on to win the gold medal at the Calgary Cup with a 3-2 win over the Soviet Union.
This is a day off at the World Junior Hockey Championships in Czechoslovakia. The Canadians are currently tied with Finland for second place. They play their final game of the tournament tomorrow against the Soviets. The Czechs and Finland battle in another contest, a win or a tie for Czechoslovakia, and they claim the gold medal. Round 2 of the NFL's playoff